And hello to all my Leo friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for April 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you a storyline spread. It casts a very wide net across all the different Leos. Basically, it's all about finding the story that's right for you. We're going to take a peek into a few different stories for different parts of the sign. It allows me to be very accurate because we're doing that. And it's interesting to you because there's a story in there that's just right for you. There may be more than one, actually. I've had people say that sometimes multiple stories will resonate. It's quite all right if it does, but at the end of the day, it's all about finding that one. So we're going to do that. They've asked that I conclude your reading with angel protection spread. So that's a couple angel cards there that just give a little extra oomph, pushes my wonderful Leos in the right direction with certain themes that are going on. So we're going to get started right now. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. What I'm going to do now is bring you in so you can watch. Go ahead and hit that like button if you're ready to have a great April. And there we go. What I'm doing now are my ritual cuts. I like to do them live and on camera and share my table with you guys so you can see what's going on. Basically cuts the decks into 3 different pieces, put them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot, and it's the same procedure for personal private readings. And then they're ready to go. So the storyline spread, I like to start with 5 cards, and I adjust accordingly. Sometimes we have to add more than that depending on what's going on. It's big on facings. That kind of directs me as far as where I stop and start, and I can tell I already need more, still need more. That's our end. Now, is it in view? Perfect. Actually is. These storyline spreads get a little bit lengthy sometimes, so it's important to get it all in view for you. This is the main thing I want you to see. I am going to tack on more cards, and the table's going to get very big. It gets very cluttered in a storyline spread, but this is the main stuff I want you to see first before I do any of that. So now here we go with the facings and the pairings. These guys go together. Okay, so we are looking at 4 different stories. This is how it's going to go. 4 different stories for my Leos. Let's tack on cards first. A couple kings there, a couple people cards. Actually, we're using the energy of the cards and not the people. Court cards in tarot are always very complicated. Okay, that is all set. Now I need to check the inverts. I know I'm probably off screen, you can't see it, but I will adjust so you can. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough to matter, so it's good to be read as it is, the way it is. Now I just need an oracle card for everyone. And then getting it all in view for you. Okay, so let's see what you can see, what you can't see. You can see the bottom one down here. This is one big story across the bottom. We have one right here, the left of my hand. We have one over here. This one's out of view. Stick that right there for you. So I'm blocking that one so you can see that this is where one story is right there. And then we're going to end over here with this last story. Can you see all that right there? Trains honking in my background. Okay, so that's our last story. That's where we're going to conclude your reading before we do the angels. So let's get to it. Here we go. All right, Leo, here we go. The train tried to sabotage your reading here. Couldn't let him do that. The show must go on. Story number 1 here for my Leos. First thing we want to talk about is, this is for my Leos that are having a very hard time deciding between 2 different things. It is saying that you have really just beaten yourself up over this. For a lot of you, this is work related. This is brand new business vibes. This is going to be very specific, so this may apply to just a certain few of my Leo audience, but in a general reading, I have to give it all to you. So that is what is coming up first. We have Ace of Wands, brand new job, brand new opportunities, business, entrepreneurship, learning new things, all that kind of stuff pops up very, very good here. But a lot of you are having a hard time with this. Whatever it is, the decision-making process between should I do this or should I do this is it's causing you a bit of anguish is what they're showing me here. It's kind of like you're getting on the dark side of your own mind here with your decision making. This card, when it comes up, it's Spirit's way of saying that like either way it's actually going to be okay. They're kind of looking ahead down the timeline, and they're looking at your different paths here of what you end up doing with the situation, and it looks like it's relatively the same for you. So that's why they don't want you to worry about it. That's why they present it this way. They don't want you wasting energy on it. Now, it's very interesting what they show on top of that, because money-wise, there's a huge money message in regards to this. It's the hoarder card, but it's inverted. So the regular hoarder card would be basically it's time to stop being a hoarder and to let go. In this case, it's basically saying it's okay to be a hoarder right now in regards to this business work type thing that we're describing here in Story 1 for certain sets of my Leos here. They're basically saying it's a good time to save. They don't want you to put money into this. Whatever this is, they want you to do the work first. I have chopped wood. It is very much a get it done, and it looks like a wand too. And wands is the suit of work in tarot. So this is very much a specific message about work and a little bit about money and decision making as well. So that is big time. The advice is to, right now it's a work time in April. It's not time to be putting money into things, especially into this business. There's more work to be done first. It feels like a prerequisite, really. And probably the money could be better used at a later time. And that's why it's coming up in the way that it is. So there's story number 1. Very interesting. Story number 2, we're going to go up here. Probably another very specific one. We start with big money coming in for some of my Leos that are getting over some kind of physical injury here. So it makes me feel very much like some kind of accident payout or insurance deal, or money coming to you from getting over being hurt, or like a rehabilitation or something like that. It's basically, it makes me feel like money that you aren't actually working for. This is just kind of and it's going to be different, and it's a very specific message, hard to pinpoint without me asking you questions. Unfortunately, you're not here to do that. I don't have that luxury, but I'm just going to stick with the definitions of the cards here. We have large amount of money coming in. That part looks good, and they show right behind that is kind of a rehabilitation, getting over an injury. So if you read those two together, that's kind of like what I described. There's more to this story though. They show very much taking control of your mindset here and deciding things for yourself. This can also be about a boss at work, but that's another definition of the card that I don't think is going to be relevant here. But this is very much getting this ironed out, making your own decisions, not letting other people control you, you dictating where things are going yourself. That is very a big deal here for, even if it's just one of my Leos that I'm talking to here in story 2, it's very important that this comes through. They're basically dedicating a story to a very small part of my audience, more than likely. They want you to consider new ideas here. This is like a light bulb effect. This is brand new inspiration, thinking of new ideas that perhaps you weren't thinking of before. They want you to consider some new things here, and they're helping you with this. This is divine inspiration that is coming through. They're showing that a lot of you are confused here, and that's why. And that's actually the name of the card is Why. Basically saying you're confused. You don't have to understand why right now. This is going to work itself out in ways that right now we might not have the full scope of. We might not have the full window of information of what's going on. And that's probably why this divine spark is coming in April. It's going to work its way through. It's a process of some form. And this is going to probably get resolved at a later time. Very interesting story there. Story 3. Let's go down here. Oh, wow. Leo, great time to learn anything new in the month of April. We start with the High Priestess card. So this is information being completely opened to you guys. Wide open door here. So you guys are also like a sponge in the month of April. You can really retain and learn, and it's just such a wonderful growth opportunity for my Leos. I hope you guys take advantage of it. They do show some hard work going on there. So it could also be financial work, but usually it's just learning. It's the card of apprenticeship as well. One of the definitions of that card there, the 8 of Pentacles, is apprenticeship, hard work, learning from somebody else who knows more than you. All that kind of stuff comes up there. So it makes me feel very learning type stuff. Anything new that you've been wanting to learn, you may want to consider starting this process in April here in story 3. Doesn't mean that it has to actually trigger. You have to pull the trigger and start it here in April. Let's say that this is learning a new craft or a new trade or something like that. The class might not start until June, but this is probably the time when you need to start kind of figuring this out. You need to figure out like what it is you're trying to learn, what it is that you can benefit from, because Spirit is basically saying that this is a wide open door for you, or in this case a window, and what do you want to do with it? Don't waste it. It's there for the taking. They do show weakness, and that's why we're probably talking about it, is that a lot of you have a hesitancy, or maybe procrastinate, or say, oh, I'll do it next year, or I'll do it when the kids go to college, or when blank, right? So they're saying you have a weakness to this, and they want you to get through that. They want you to get to a point where you can just act in strength here and go forward with what you actually want to do, because that's what this is about. In a big way. They show higher power here. So again, you're being guided. Just like we talked about guidance in story 2 for that part of my Leo audience, here we're talking about higher power again. So this has a higher purpose for you guys. You're meant for more, perhaps, than you're doing. And whatever this learning process, learning curve is, they're pushing it so hard that they're saying that they're almost going to hold your hand for the process of it. So you don't have to be scared of anything. They're going to be like right there with you. For some of you, this could even be a deceased loved one of yours that's coming through and saying, I'll be there for you. I'll be there with you. All these kind of things. So it's coming from beyond. Okay. I know kind of all these messages do, but this is a different thing. Okay. This is something that they do not want you to miss. I don't want you to miss it just because it's so good. So literally be that sponge for my Leos there, story 3. Before we get into story 4, interesting story there. Very interesting. I need to go over the moon cycles with you guys. I do this every single month, give you guys a tool that you can use to navigate these waters much clearer. We have exciting times in April because there's 2 new moons in this month. We have one on the 1st and one on the 30th. It's easy to remember, the first day and the last day of the month. Those are your new moon markers. It doesn't anything new that you want to bring into your life or attract or manifest. You can do that very, very easily at the beginning or end of the month. It does not have to be right on those dates. Just any time right around there is very good. So let's say you're trying to do something new with business. We talked about working on it. Best time to work on that kind of stuff is these time slots. We didn't really talk about love much at all yet, but we talked about learning something new. That would be new, adding to your life. So that's new moon type stuff. Okay, guys? So that is much better placed. Looking into it, beginning of the month, end of the month. Adversely, we have the full moon energy that comes in on April 16th. That's the garbage truck of the universe when you want to get something out of your life that just doesn't fit anymore. Could be people, it could be bad habits, it could be stuff if you got to repurpose stuff, sell stuff, even finish up a project, wrap up a project, something like that. Much better placed in the middle of the month. I put together a moon cycle cheat sheet for you guys. It is on my website. You can check it out absolutely free. Download it if you want, whatever it is, or just go back and check it once in a while. It kind of gives you a visual aid to see what I'm talking about here, the ebbs and flows of those moon cycles, so you can implement positive change into your life and get it to stick. Very important there. While you're at the website, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. It's at the very bottom of my main page. And I guess I should also probably tell you that the moon cycle cheat sheet is at the bottom of my videos page in case you're looking for that. So the newsletter is at the very bottom of the main page. You just enter a few things there. You sign up for the newsletter, and that's huge because I'm doing a large, super huge giveaway in May. You don't want to miss that, so make sure you're signed up for that. Also, on Facebook, I do giveaways every single month, so lots of fun things always going on the page and on the site. So there we go. Now let's get into story number 4. Story 4 here. We have some blockages. We have some delays of some form. There, a lot of you here are there's a business fork in the road. I know we kind of talked about that slightly there, but this feels a little different here in story 4. This is kind of a little bit of a fork in the road, but being between 2 different things and getting over that. So maybe some of you are working 2 jobs or considering working 2 jobs, something like that, and it's showing that that's kind of the status of that. They want action here. They want action in your work corner. I have actually another wand right next to that too, but they really want the action up here. Doesn't mean you have to take the physical action. If you thought about getting a second job, you might want to get this together here, figure out what that second job would be, or even that goes into the learning thing. Like that could be like a second job, putting the time into learning something new very much applies. We have learning from lessons the hard way. That is a lot of people have this. This is just kind of human nature stuff. A lot of times we have to repeat lessons over and over and over again. This is very work-related thing. So that's what they are wanting my Leos to avoid, but they're saying that you struggle with this. So this is a lesson that you struggle with. It's going to be popping up in April just to let you guys know. Now, we do have very, very strong yin energy here. So this is pink female energy, very, very strong in your work corner here in story number 4. I don't really know what to do with it, but it's, that the pink energy is always very feminine, motherly, loving, all that kind of stuff. So it actually looks like the environment is quite well, despite all these challenges and it's almost like the environment works for you. You can use the environment to implement your positive change. If you have like really great people that you're surrounded with at work, or maybe you just really like the line of work that you're in or something like that, that is a major factor there. So they want you to keep that in mind as you make these changes and make these decisions in your April. So let's get into your angel protection cards here. I promised you guys 2 of them, so let's talk about it. First one is never-ending story. So that goes back to what we just talked about with the cycles here. This is just reoccurring things. It's almost like, oh, here we go again. Will this ever end? Why do I got to keep dealing with this work stuff? Okay, and there's a couple different ways. I know we talked about work a lot in this spread. It's almost like they devoted a whole spread to work, but they actually didn't. It's very interesting how that works, but they show you kind of being like, this is a cyclical thing, and just when is this going to end? Well, you have to kind of push this through. This is not just, you can't wait for the universe to save you. You have to be your own savior here. Very much a theme. Second angel card, we have come to the edge. So you need to take risks. They need you to put yourself out there. I'm actually going to show you guys a close-up of this card because it's just that important. And this is not part of the initial cards that I showed you. This has come to the edge. So that is what they want you to do. They want you to put yourself out there. Go for it. You don't have to leap off the edge. You don't have to do anything wild, but they want you to get to that point where you're making that progress. You're getting close to the edge. You're that baby bird that's getting ready to hop out the nest to fly for its first time. So that's very much the theme of the angel protection cards, the extra that they wanted to give you. So I want to thank you guys for joining. Also, the quadrants video. We're entering a new quadrant, guys, here. Quadrant 2 for the spring. I do quadrant videos at the beginning of the year. It's a good time to reflect on what quadrant 1 had for my Leos and look ahead into quadrant 2 because it doesn't just talk about April. It talks about May and June in your quadrant 2. Also forecast the rest of the year while you're at it. But it's a good time to kind of review a little look ahead onto planning some things for your year. So make sure you check that out, guys. That's me signing off. I'm done here. Please remember to like and subscribe. Have a great April, and I will see you soon.